Welcome back to the Smith Road Complex. Angie Rogers, glad to have you alongside and back here on the Eagles Sports Network for the final game of a 3-game series between the Carson-Newman Eagles and the Newberry Wolves. The Wolves have taken the first 2 games of the series by scores of 8-2 and 4-0. Carson-Newman dropping the opening game of the doubleheader. Final score 4-0 despite 9 Carson-Newman hits in the losing effort. And the Eagles get shut out in the South Atlantic Conference game for the first time in 4 seasons. It happened back in 2019, and it happens now here in 2023. And the Eagles try to right the ship offensively. The 14-15 Carson-Newman Eagles try to get back to 500 overall. They're 7-4 in the league now, while Newberry has improved to 25-4. 10-1 in the league, and looks to continue its strong winning ways at home. They've won 11 in a row at home, a league best mark, and one of the top 10 marks in the country in winning streaks at home. And they'll try to extend that here in the final game and go for a sweep of Carson-Newman. Trey Miller, Dalton McLean, James Denton due up to face the starting pitcher, Tyler Chinpire. He'll make his 8th start of the season. And he'll get the ball in Game 3. 7 appearances, all starts, as mentioned. 4 wins, 0 losses, a 3.37 ERA for the sophomore right-hander who gets into his windup, and we're underway in Game 2 with a first-pitch breaking ball, a curveball across the plate at 4:16 p.m. for a called strike 1. Miller 1 hit this weekend. Check that, 2 hits this weekend, 1 in each game. He's 2 for 9 at the plate. And he watches a baseball get bounced in by Chinpire for a ball low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Eagles make a couple of changes. Mitch Ballant stays in the lineup, but here's a base hit through the left side. Hold that thought. Trey Miller lines 1 to left, and the Eagles pick up where they left off offensively in the hitting category with a base hit to start Game 2. Trey Miller with a base knock, his 30th hit of the year, second on the team now with that 30-hit mark. He's back above the 300 average. And now Dalton McLean. Mitch Ballant is the 4-hitter in the lineup, but he's catching here in Game 2 of the series, or Game 2 of the day, 3rd of the series. Zach Bose back into the lineup. He'll DH. Ben Wilcoxon will start in right. Those being the only changes. Wilcoxon in for Potts in right field, and Bose will DH. So the Eagles turn to Ballant behind the dish. A couple of defensive changes and a couple of lineup additions for Tom Griffin in the series finale, as Chinpire comes set. The first pitch to McLean is a high fastball that sails out of the zone, ball 1. Sophomore has been the team's ace this year. He's won 4 of his 7 starts, as we mentioned. He's only allowed 33 base runners. Here's a close pickoff to first. Miller back safely. That was a really close play. Nice tag from Gibson at first, but Miller able to get back to the bag. And now going to call for time and clean some dirt up around the bag before McLean steps back in. But Chinpire, only 33 base runners allowed in 29 and a third innings pitched. So he's allowed 34 runners now in 8 appearances. He's gone at least 5 innings for this team 4 different times. His best outing came against Mars Hill on March 11th. 6 innings of 1-run ball. Here's a bunt back to Chinpire. McLean bunts it to the pitcher, who throws to second. It's Jamar Lugo making the play for the first out. Lugo was covering the bag with the pitcher Chinpire firing. A 1-4 putout for this first out of the inning. And now James Denton with a runner in scoring position. Defensively, Newberry makes a couple of changes. Cade Faircloth joins Donovan Ford and Jacob LeBron left to right in the outfield. Jonathan Velez moves from third base to catcher. He'll catch Chinpire here in Game 3 of the series, as the right-hander boiks a pitch across the zone low for ball 1. Left side of the infield, Braylon Marine stays at short. Jesse Free is the new third baseman. Lugo still at second, Gibson still at first, and at the aforementioned Velez behind the plate catching Chinpire. 1-0 set in the pitch to James Denton, who offered at it. It gets underneath Velez and to the backstop. Swing and a miss. Pitch gets away. It's 1 ball and a strike, but now Trey Miller's at third. Well, that's something we saw Carson-Newman do, and you've heard Carson-Newman do, is let a ball get past him, whether it's a wild pitch or a passed ball like that one. And Newberry's taking advantage. Denton taps one back to the pitcher. It goes 5 feet. He fields and throws James out at first, 2 outs. But we've seen Newberry take advantage of some of those wild pitches and pass balls to get runners in scoring position and over. And ultimately, Denton comes up empty, and now Mitch Ballant with 2 outs. Shinpire 8 pitches to the first 3 hitters of the contest. And the right-hander comes set. I'll look at the runner in the first pitch to Mitch Ballant as a breaking curveball. That thing's got a lot of movement on it. He breaks it into the zone for strike 1. Eagles trying to salvage this series. They've lost 3 in a row. Second time, check that, third time Carson-Newman's lost 3 games or more in a row this year. All of those coming previously in the month of February before this one. Ballant offered at a breaking pitch again, but he was able to hold back and take ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike count with 2 outs, and Miller standing at third after a leadoff single. The right-hander comes set and delivers a 1-1 fastball on the outside corner, strike 2. Mitch thought it was a little bit away, but it's on the corner for strike 2. Nelson Smith waits in the on-deck circle. Due up next if Ballant can reach. The 1-2 set in the pitch from Shinpire. A fastball a little bit higher. Same spot, but a little bit up for ball 2. Went back to the corner, but Ballant watched it go a little bit higher than that initial 1-1 pitch. And now watches the count go to 2-2. Deuces across the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch, a breaking ball swung on and missed by Ballant. Strike 3. Eagles get a runner to third with 1 out in the first and strand him there. Eagles have played 10 innings of baseball today and remain scoreless. Newberry to the plate to face Carson-Newman starting pitcher Tyler Shaver. He gets the ball to start the bottom of the first after this on the Eagles Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Bottom of the first inning, Tyler Shaver will make the start for Carson-Newman this afternoon to wrap up this series. It'll be his second start of the year, 11th appearance total on the season, 8.59 ERA for the right-hander in 22 innings pitched. He's given up 22 runs, 21 of which have been earned over the course of the 22 innings pitched this season. His only start came against USC Aiken back on February 4th, a 5-inning start. That was part of that first series of the year for Carson-Newman. He starts Donovan Ford out with a ball low. But that was a 5-inning start, 7 runs allowed, 4 earned runs, as Ford slaps the 1-0 foul out of play. Ford extended his hitting streak earlier today to now 18 games after a infield single in that sixth inning, in that 3-run sixth inning for Newberry. Here's a breaking pitch from Shaver for strike 2, and now the 1-2 wind and delivery from the senior is a low fastball for ball 2. Fastball slider changeup combination for the senior from Dandridge, Tennessee, and the Jefferson County product. A 2-2 wind, and now a pitch is lined through the left side base hit. Donovan Ford's got a 19-game hitting streak. He wastes no time to extend the hit streak. He continues to just find ways to get on base. And now Jacob LeBron, who, tell you what, we talk about Ford and his .483 average at the top, and then you have the reigning sack player of the year in the 3 spot, and then Jacob LeBron is sandwiched in between those two guys in the 2 spot, and he put together a phenomenal game 1 with 4 base hits to start the day. Ford takes off, and LeBron lines it down the left field line, base hit. Smith tracking it down. Ford's getting the go sign. Miller cuts off the throw. His throw to the plate is not in time. Ford slides in safely. Hit and run successful. LeBron drives in his 3rd run of the series. He's got his 5th hit of the day in the 2 games combined, and it's 1-0 Newberry. They waste no time to get on the scoreboard. There's the aggressiveness. Ford taking off with his speed. He was pretty much to second base by the time that ball left the infield. And now Braylon Marine. But there's a perfect example of how elite this offense really is for Newberry. And the fact that you can place Jacob LeBron in between 2 all-conference caliber players. In fact, you could pretty much bookmark and book these top 4 hitters for Newberry as all-conference selections, whether they're first, second, or even if there is a 3rd team. I think there is. Those 4 are going to be on there, without a doubt. And Marine and Ford are going to compete all year for Player of the Year in the conference. 2 of the best hitters in the league, well above .450 hitting the baseball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shaver facing Marine with LeBron at second base after his RBI double. Right-handed senior comes set, a look back at the runner, and now his 1-1 fastball is on the corner for a called strike 2. For the 3rd game of the series now, Newberry has scored first. They've won the first 2 games by scoring first, and now we've got time called. And it looks like a baseball got into the warning track out in left field on a warm-up pitch from the Carson-Newman bullpen that is already active. Jake Wright loosening for the Eagles. 1-2 set for the right-hander Shaver. Look back again at LeBron, and now his pitch to the plate is hit off the end of the bat, foul down the line at first. It stays 1-2. Shaver has gone 3 consecutive outings, giving up at least 2 runs. He's given up at least 2 runs in 5 of his last 6 appearances. His last scoreless effort was in his only win this year. He recorded 4 outs and 3 strikeouts against Mars Hill back on March 5th. Comes set for another 1-2 pitch and now throws this ball into the outfield. I think he slipped coming off the mound, and so Shaver throws this ball into center field, and LeBron advances to 3rd. 6th error of the weekend for Carson-Newman. And LeBron is a sacrifice fly away from scoring here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Still nobody out. Marine at the plate with a 1-2 count. Right-hander comes set. A look back at the runner. To the runner, and the pitch is a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Good pitch from Shaver on the slider low and away to Marine. He got him to chase for strike 3, 1 out. Won't see Braylon strike out many times. Just the 11th time he's been punched out this year. Shaver records strikeout number 27. And now we'll face the left-handed hitting Henry Gibson with Carson-Newman's infield playing in on the grass. Righty's first pitch to Gibson is tapped to Shaver, who can't get to it in time. Gibbs will have to field it from behind him And his only play is to first, an RBI ground out for Henry Gibson. It's 2-0, and now there's 2 outs in the inning. Shaver had come off the mound and off to his left, but that ball just went right underneath his glove. Luckily, Gibbs was there to back him up to make the play. But if Shaver maybe gets a glove on that, he's got a chance to gun down the runner at the plate with a good throw. But instead it goes down as an RBI ground out and a 4-3 putout for the second out of the inning. And now Jonathan Velez takes ball 1. Velez has started both games this weekend, the first 2 at third base. Game 2, it's at catcher, and he is 1 for 8 at the plate. The lone hit coming in Game 1 last night. Part of that 8-run, 8-hit attack from Newberry. Here's a ball off the end of the bat, foul by Velez for ball 1, or strike 1, with 2 balls in the count. When we head to the top of the second inning, we'll update you on the South Atlantic Conference and what goes on and what has gone on in the league on this busy Saturday afternoon. Breaking pitch from Shaver, a changeup missed outside 3-1. He back into his windup, and the pitch is popped up foul beyond the screen and out of play behind the press box. Strike 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Shaver tries to work out of this first inning that has seen Newberry strike twice. An RBI double from Jacob LeBron and an RBI ground out from Henry Gibson. The 3-2 wind of the pitch is a chopper left side. Miller fields on a backhand, and it pops out of his mitt. Another high chopper and in-between play as well. That's the second error of the inning for Carson-Newman and the 7th error the team has made this weekend. And that extends the inning for Newberry and Cade Faircloth. 16 runs this year for Faircloth, 9 runs driven in. A .270 hitter making his 18th start of the year. And he waits on a first pitch. That is a fastball in the outside corner for ball 1. 63 at-bats for the sophomore outfielder. 17 hits, 4 doubles, and 1 triple. With 9 driven in to go along with 9 walks, or 7 walks, I should say. Here's an inside fastball, now a throw down from Ballin. And getting back safely is Velez. 2 balls, no strikes on the 6-hitter Cade Faircloth. Jesse Free is the 7-hitter. Cooper Gentry, the DH, in the 8 spot. Jamar Lugo rounds the lineup out in the 9 spot. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Shaver, a slider on the inside corner, strike 1. Eagles defensively, Smith still in left, McLean still in center. Ben Wilcoxon makes his first appearance in right field this year. Gibbs and Denton make up the right side. Gibson and Miller make up the left, with Ballant behind the dish for Tom Griffin's team. Here's a swing and a miss and a 2-1 slider. It's strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Shaver tries to get the final out of this first inning. An inning that has seen the right-hander give up 2 runs and throw 22 pitches. Pitch 23 coming as he brings his glove set to the belt, and the pitch is fouled back again by Faircloth. He'll stay alive. Continues to be a really nice weekend here in Newberry, South Carolina. Despite some early morning rain showers that cooled things down a little bit before things heat back up here at Smith Road Complex. With a temperature up to about 75 degrees. Here's a pop fly and foul ground. It's going to venture out of play. Faircloth got enough on it to poke it out of the confines, within the confines of Smith Road Complex. Got enough of it to poke it out, and he stays alive at 2-2. Still a decent 8 to 10 mile an hour wind favoring hitters at the park. Here's a line drive right to Trey Miller, who makes the catch. Inning over. Well hit baseball by Faircloth, but right to Trey Miller, who makes the catch to end the frame. But Newberry strikes twice. They score twice against Shaver and the Eagles. How does Carson-Newman respond? We'll find out after this break as we head to the top of the second here on the Eagle Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with her $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Nelson Smith leads off for Carson-Newman in the top of the second inning as the Eagles try to bring what is a 16 consecutive inning, scoreless inning streak to a halt. Can they do it in the second inning? Nelson Smith takes strike one on the outside corner from right-handed starting pitcher Tyler Chinpire. His 0-1 breaks a little bit low and below the zone for ball one. Eagles have scored twice in the series. Those two runs came in the third inning yesterday. They were shut out for the final 6 yesterday. Did not score in game 2 of the series in game 1 earlier today. So that's 9 innings. You add that to 6, you get 15. You get the first one here in the final game of this series. And that's 16 scoreless innings of baseball for Tom Griffin's offense. Back-to-back breaking pitches, or, well, back-to-back breaking pitches that all missed the zone. And Nelson Smith ahead in the count, a favorable hitter's count for the left fielder at 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch, a big swing and a miss. Nelson took a huge hack at it and came up empty, strike two. The 3-2 pitch from Chinpire. Another fastball hummed right past Smith. Strike three, swinging one out. And now Zach Bose. Bose steps in to face the star right-handed pitcher Chinpire, who's been really good for Newberry this year. Has advertised 4 wins to no losses. And he starts Bose with a fastball for a strike. Well, Coxon waits on deck 5, 6, and 7 to face Chinpire for the first time. As the righty gets into his windup, a high leg kick, and the pitch is grounded left side into the glove of the shortstop Marine, who gathers and fires over to his first baseman Gibson for the second out of the inning. 8 pitches, 2 outs for Chinpire here in the second, and now he'll face Ben Wilcoxon. Wilcoxon had a pinch hit base hit to wrap up game number 2 of the series and the first game earlier today. A line drive single to help kickstart the 9th that saw Carson-Newman load the bases before ultimately coming up empty, and Wilcoxon shows bunt and pulls it back because the pitch was low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Now the pitch to Wilcoxon, a fastball at the knees, strike 1. Here's another 1-1. Here's another fastball on a 1-1 pitch. And it's a little bit high to the now outfielder Ben Wilcoxon, 2-1. And now the pitch from Chinpire is popped up foul off the end of the bat and out of play into the Newberry bullpen for strike 2. Eagles down to their final strike here of the inning. And what could be a 17th consecutive inning without a run. Wilcoxon fights off a fastball to stay alive. And again, it's not like the Eagles haven't been able to put together offense during this 16-inning stretch. Curveball just missed outside, ball 3. During this 16-inning stretch, this is a team that has compiled 10 hits. If you include the one hit today, it's 11 hits over this 16-inning stretch. You've loaded the bases 3 times. Ground ball to third, bobbled initially by Free, and he gathers and launches one over to first and gets Wilcoxon by half a step. 1-2-3 inning for Chinpire and the Wolves. The scoreless streak for Carson-Newman's offense continues. As we head to the bottom of the second, Eagles trying to keep it at a 2-run deficit. Tyler Shaver back to the ball, or back to the rubber, to start the bottom of the second after this on the Eagles Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Tyler Shaver starts Jesse Free with a breaking ball that misses for ball 1, and now his 1-0 is chopped to short. Miller in the hole has to set and won't even make a throw. Wouldn't have got there in time anyway. On a high chopper that bounced over the head of Aiden Gibson. Again, that is another ground ball on this infield grass that has dried up now after the rain earlier today. And it just makes that an unplayable ball. Unless Aiden Gibson is 7'5" and can still leap and make that play. It was so high hit that Miller was the only one that had a chance to field it in the infield. He did, but just too far away from the bag at first to get one there in time to get free. So now an infield single to start the second, and Shaver will pick to first. Mentioned that I'd give you the South Atlantic Conference scores to start the day. Limestone, we mentioned 3-2 winners over Barton. LMU comes back again. They take down the Pioneers 9-8. So Tusculum falling to an 8-6 mark in the league now. There's a foul tip on a bunt attempt by Gentry for strike 1. UVA Wise wins 2 touchdowns to 1 touchdown and a field goal for Anderson. 14-10 victory for the Cavaliers. 4-run winners over Anderson. Lenore Ryan defeats Mars Hill. So now LR has a game edge for third over Carson-Newman as the two teams entered Saturday. And the doubleheaders in a tie at 7-3. Eagles fall back with the loss to 7-4, and LR with the win is now 8-3. Coker 15, Emory and Henry 5. That's a top of the 5th inning score. Catawba and Wingate in action. That was a game that started at 3 p.m. As Shaver comes set and delivers a breaking pitch called strike 3. A really good slider as Gentry fouled 2 bunt attempts off and eventually goes down looking on that slider. Strikeout number 2 for Shaver in the first out of the inning. Wingate is up 8-0 on Catawba. That is game 1 of the day, so barring another late comeback for the Indians, Newberry will more than likely enter the second round of games in the second game of doubleheaders in first place and a 1-game edge on Catawba. Here's a slider for a strike called to start Jamar Lugo's at-bat. Barton and Limestone are back in action for the second game of their doubleheader. Same with Tusculum, Lincoln Memorial game, Anderson Wise, and same for Mars Hill and Lenore. Ryan will give you an update on those as we continue on throughout here in our game number 2. Here's Shaver's fastball. It's high ball 1, throw down not in time from Ballant, trying to back pick the runner at first free. Eagles get back in action on Tuesday against King. 3 p.m. first pitch from the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex. Here's a fastball that's well outside. Throw down to second is in time. A low throw from Mitch Ballant. I don't think ever left the ground once it bounced before the pitcher's mound. Miller was able to scoop it out of the ground and tag out free on what was a hit and run, and that slider was well outside, and so Lugo chased after it. Now he's behind 0-2 and swings and misses at a fastball to end the inning. Well, how about that work from Tyler Shaver? His third strikeout, and it turns into a 1-2-3 inning, an unconventional 1-2-3 inning, a strikeout, a throw him out, a caught stealing at second. Next pitch, strike 3, swinging on Lugo. We're through 2. Can the Eagles carry that defensive momentum to the plate in the third and end this scoreless stretch for the Eagles? We'll find out if they can do it as we head to the top of the third inning here on the Eagles Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with her $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Will Gibbs will lead things off for Carson-Newman in the third, followed by Aiden Gibson, and then the top of the order, Trey Miller. Gibbs up to the 8th spot, and Gibson down to the 9th spot here in Game 3 of the series and Game 2 of the day. Strike 1 called on Will Gibbs to begin his first plate appearance as he flies one foul beyond the screen behind the home plate batter's box, and it's strike 2 quickly on him. Gibbs this weekend 0 for 8 at the plate, still looking for his first base knock. He takes a curveball inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the junior second baseman from Harrisburg, Illinois. The 1-2 is floated out to right center field. He got enough of it, and it drops into right center field. Base hit for Will Gibbs. Not a great pitch to hit, but he did enough to poke that curveball in between the right center field gap for the second Carson-Newman hit of the game. And they've got the leadoff guy aboard for the second time today. They did it back in the first inning, left Trey Miller at third with 1 out. What do they do this time? Aiden Gibson at the plate. He's showing bunt. He places a bunt up the first base line. Gibson fields. He'll throw to first in time with Lugo covering. Sacrifice bunt for Aiden Gibson, his second one of the day. First here in Game 2, and here we are again. Carson-Newman with a guy in scoring position and 1 out for Trey Miller. Trying to end a 17-inning scoring drought. Trey Miller tasked with doing that. Can he end it right here? Right-hander comes set. Chinpire's pitch was behind Miller, a curveball that never moved. And luckily, the catcher, Velez, was able to range behind Miller to catch that not breaking curveball and not allow it to get to the backstop. 1-0. Miller pops it up on the infield. Velez makes the catch, 2 outs. That ball went 30 feet and 90 feet in the air. 2 outs for Dalton McLean. The Eagles hitting with runners in scoring position. Not good this weekend. McLean has had a pretty good weekend himself. He's got 3 hits in the 2 combined games so far. Can he add to that total here? Curveball blocked at the plate by Velez. And it's ball 1. McLean hitting in that 2 spot. Moved around last week. He hit 6th in one of the games against Limestone last weekend. Back up to the 2 spot, though, and he's been a pretty reliable hitter there for Tom Griffin's team, hitting .275 as he rips one down the line and foul. This ball clobbered and nearly onto the softball field, which is well in foul territory and easily 100 yards or more. Definitely, actually, probably closer to 150 yards from the left field foul pole. Here's McLean waiting on a curveball, and he spanks it to the right side this time into the Newberry bullpen. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strike count on the Carson-Newman center fielder. Walter State transfer back into the batter's box, and he grounds one right side. Gibson backhands, flips to Chinpire, inning over. Eagles get a runner in scoring position for the second time here in game number 2, but ran that runner once again in scoring position. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Tyler Shaver heads back to the hill, trying to keep this at a 2-run deficit as we head to the bottom of the 3rd here on the Eagle Sports Network.
We love to cheer for our home teams, like the Eagles. It means more when we're rooting for the people we know. Did you know Tri-Lite is your home team internet provider? We're right here in Jefferson City, serving the people we know with our ultra-fast, ultra-reliable fiber broadband network. And we'd love to serve you. Learn more at trilite.net or by calling 833-847-0824. Go Eagles!
Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
After giving up a pair of runs in the first inning, Tyler Shaver settled in for an unconventional 1-2-3 second. And he heads back out there for a 3rd inning of work with the Eagles trailing 2-0, and Donovan Ford set to step to the plate. Ford has a .487 batting average. Best in the South Atlantic Conference in an 18-game hitting streak. Check that 19. After a base hit earlier today, and he takes curveball from Shaver for a strike, or a slider from Shaver for a strike. Now a quickly 0-1 pitch that Ford sends out to left field. That ball is well out of here. He pulls one out of the yard for his 2nd home run of the year. 3-0. Donovan Ford with RBI number 23. Just well out in front of that fastball. And the first guy to greet him is Braylon Marine in the dugout. 3-0, 3rd hit for the Wolves. And now Shaver back to work against Jacob LeBron. Fastball from Shaver right down the middle at the belt high for a strike to LeBron, who's got 5 hits this weekend, 4 earlier today. and one already in this game, an RBI double that scored Ford in the first. Slider breaks low and away from Shaver for ball one. Ford with just his second home run. That's now the third home run this weekend. Gibson and Winter both have home runs, and they were in game one yesterday. Infield pop-up. Gibbs fields it along the right side for the first out of the inning. Softly hit by LeBron, and now Braylon Marine. It'll come down to Marine or Ford, and who really does better in the month of April that will end up probably taking home SAC Player of the Year. Marine, the reigning Player of the Year, and certainly has put up some pretty good numbers so far this year. 44 RBI, 3 home runs. Again, this is not a park that you'll see too many home runs at, and that's why Newberry's numbers are down. What a catch from Aiden Gibson, a diving one on a line drive down the line. Marine robbed of a base knock. Gibson snared it out of the air on a diving effort. 2 outs. Ignore the 7 errors that Carson-Newman has had in the 3 games this weekend, and I'm telling you what, the defense has played fine. The errors haven't been the reason Carson-Newman has lost the first 2 games of the series and why they're down 3-0. The bats have been cold. 2 runs to show for so far, and they haven't scored in 17 innings in this series. Great play from Aiden Gibson. Tip of the cap from Shaver, who now is behind 2-0 on Gibson. And now finds the zone with a slider in there for a strike. But Marine and Ford are going to battle it out for Player of the Year. Lenore Ryan's got a guy with 13 home runs that leads the league, and he's got 37 driven in. And certainly that could make a case depending on how LR finishes the year. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Shaver to Gibson. His wind and pitch is inside for ball 3. 3-2 now with 2 outs in the 3rd inning and a 3-0 Newberry lead. Right-hander gets into his wind-up. The payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. Gibson threw the bat, thought maybe it was going to be ball 4. Instead, it's called strike 3, and that ends the inning. Tyler Shaver with another strikeout. He's got 3 of those, or 4 of those, I should say. But Newberry adds a run on the solo shot to lead off the 3rd by Donovan Ford. We're through 3. It's 3-0 Newberry here on the Eagles Sports Network.
City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
James Denton will try to kickstart the 4th as Carson-Newman trails on the scoreboard 3-0 in the second game of the doubleheader. In a 7-inning game, we're pretty much halfway through it. The Eagles only have 4 at-bats left, and they trail by 3. They got to get the offense rolling here a little bit. Denton starts out and takes strike 1. Blake Bean for Lenore Ryan to continue on to my Player of the Year conversation. He's got 13 home runs, a .373 average, and 37 driven in. Carson-Newman will see him in a couple of weeks in Mossy Creek for the final home series and games of the regular season. But certainly he has a really good case, and it'll depend on where Lenore Ryan is in the standings, too. If they're near the top and have a case for number one, and Bean continues to play well and maybe outdoes both Marine and Ford in some statistical categories, he'll have a chance and a good case from around the league to get the vote for Player of the Year. 2-2 pitch to Denton, a swing and a miss, strike three. Chinpire went to the curveball and dropped it in at the knees for a swinging strike three for the first out of the inning. Chinpire's third strikeout. He's allowed 2 hits so far and hasn't walked a batter, and now faces Mitch Ballant for the second time. Righty kicks and winds and gets a pop-up by Ballant, right side, and foul ground. Gibson giving chase and watches this one just end up beyond the first base dugout and out of play. Strike one. Eagles will be glad to stay home this coming week as they wrap up a 6-game road trip. 3 last weekend, 3 this weekend here today. Breaking curveball stayed high, 1-1. They'll get King, as we mentioned, Tuesday, and then start a 3-game series Friday with Lincoln Memorial. The start of a 4-game homestand. Line drive up the middle, base hit for Mitch Ballant. His first hit of the day here in Game 3. And his second hit of the series kickstarts Carson-Newman's effort here in the 4th inning with a 1-out single to center. Carson-Newman's final midweek home game is scheduled for April 4th. Again, that could change, but they've got Shorter coming to town on the 4th for their final midweek home matchup before a road trip to Anderson, and then to come back home and face Lenore Ryan that following weekend to wrap up the home slate, in which the Eagles are 11-3 at home, 3-12 away from home. 1-0 pitch now to Nelson Smith, a high fastball, 2-0. Eagles have battled. Now, again, they have put guys on base, but it's got to be frustrating for this team and Tom Griffin to continue to see these guys have to come off the bases and hand their helmet to a teammate in the dugout and ask for their mitt and glove and not be able to step on home plate and then go sit down for a second before heading back to the field. It's been 17 1/3 innings now of scoreless baseball offensively for the Eagles. Mound visit here from the Newberry dugout with 2 balls and no strikes on Nelson Smith in the top of the 4th with 1 out. 50 pitches for Chinpire. Figure that he's got the stamina to go 7 innings, all 7 if needed. But you probably want at least 4 to 5, maybe 6 innings, and then you turn to a reliever to wrap the game up, if that's the situation for the Wolves. Nelson Smith rips one down the line and left for a base hit. He's rounding first and getting to second base. Tom Griffin puts the stop sign up for Mitch Ballant, and the Eagles have life in the 4th inning. Our double down the line for Nelson Smith puts runners at second and third with 1 out. Smith with his 4th hit of the weekend. He had 2 earlier today and 1 yesterday. And he doubles down the line and left for his 6th double of the year. And now Zach Bose. Corners playing in on the grass as Chinpire kicks and deals a breaking ball low and away, ball 1. Zach Bose trying to be the guy that ends this scoring drought for Carson-Newman here in the 4th. It's been 17 long innings for the Eagles. Right-hander comes set in the breaking pitch again outside to Bose, who doesn't chase after it. Ball 2. Will Coxon waits on deck for Carson-Newman, trailing 3-0. The tying run at the plate here in the top of the 4th. The Jupiter, Florida native comes set from the left side of the rubber, delivers. Fastball outer corner, strike 1. 2 balls and a strike. Fly ball, right field. LeBron over to the line, makes the catch, Ballant tagging. Here's the throw to the plate. It's a strong one in time. Double play. A bang play at the plate. Tom Griffin frustrated as he works his way down the line. Ballant thought he was safe at the plate and got underneath the tag, and signaling that the tag was not at the foot and that it was up more toward the shoulder, and Ballant got his leg in there. Inning over. That sums up the weekend for Carson-Newman and probably one play. It was a great throw from Jacob LeBron halfway down the right field line and foul ground. He made the catch and made a one-hop throw into the mitt of the catcher Velez for the final out of the inning. They double up Ballant at home to end the frame. Eagles continue the scoring drought. It's to 18 innings. We head to the bottom of the fourth. It's still 3-0. Newberry on the Eagle Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with her $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Jonathan Velez was the guy that tagged out Mitch Ballant at the plate to wrap up the top of the fourth. He leads off the bottom half of the fourth and takes slider for a strike from Shaver, who was back out for a fourth inning. Frustration looming for Carson-Newman here in Newberry, South Carolina. Fastball high for ball one on a play that maybe it looks like Zach Bose is going to get an RBI sacrifice fly. Instead, Jacob LeBron with a strong throw home. Umpire calls Ballant out at the plate. Here's a swing and a miss by Velez, strike two. It was a bang-bang play. It seemed the throw was there, but the tag seemed to be so high and late compared to when Ballant was able to slide to the plate. Tough play for Gibbs on the run, and it bounces over Denton as he tries to scoop it out of the dirt. And the leadoff runner aboard. We'll see how they rule this one. It'll be an infield single. Tough play for Gibbs in the hole. Had to charge in on it as it was bounced over the head of Shaver. Again, that infield turf has dried up, and it makes these ground balls just skyrocket. It's like a trampoline off the grass. And that's what that baseball did to get over top Shaver on what probably at any other park is a routine ground ball. And now Travis Tingle out of the dugout, and the Eagles are going to make a change. Tyler Shaver gives up an infield single to start the fourth, and his day is over. Pitching change for Carson-Newman. We'll tell you about the change after this break on the Eagle Sports Network.
We love to cheer for our home teams, like the Eagles. It means more when we're rooting for the people we know. Did you know Tri-Lite is your home team internet provider? We're right here in Jefferson City, serving the people we know with our ultra-fast, ultra-reliable fiber broadband network. And we'd love to serve you. Learn more at trilite.net or by calling 833-847-0824. Go Eagles!
Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
Runner takes off on Jake Wright's first fastball, and Cade Fairclough fouled it off. A hit and run was immediately on to the new pitcher, Jake Wright, a junior from Ringgold, Georgia, appearing in his 7th game this year. 7 innings pitched, 1 save, a 1.29 earned run average with 3 walks and 12 strikeouts. Next fastball's on the outside corner, strike 2. Jake makes his 39th appearance, coming off a scoreless outing last weekend against Limestone, where he struck out 2 batters, and his second strikeout brought his career total to 100. Here's a flare out to right. Ben Wilcoxon on the run. There's his first put out in right field, makes the catch, 1 out. So Jake Wright makes his 7th appearance, 39th of his career, and will make appearance number 5 against Newberry. Most recent one against the Wolves came last year when he pitched 1 inning, a scoreless inning, on the 30th of April last year. 3 innings against them in a start to wrap up 2021. A 3-inning start to give up 3 earned runs. Another relief appearance, a 4-inning save against the Wolves on April 14th of 2021. He went 4 scoreless frames in that outing to get the save. And then his first career outing against the Wolves was a relief appearance that same season back in February. He recorded 4 outs and gave up a run and struck out 2. So appearance number 5 for Jake Wright against Newberry. And he's ahead on Jesse Free, 0-2. The pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3 swinging. Jake Wright's got strikeout number 13 of his 2023 campaign. And there's 2 outs quickly in the bottom of the 4th for Cooper Gentry. Cooper Gentry is 0 for 1. He struck out back in the 2nd inning against starter Tyler Shaver. Righty Wright gives up a slam to center field. McLean ranging out toward left center field makes the catch, inning over. Well, good work from Jake Wright. He throws 7 pitches and records the 3 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Excellent work from the right-hander. Carson-Newman leads it, or trails it through 4, 3-0. Can the offense find something? Find out if they can do it in the 5th after this on the Eagles Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
3-0 as we head to the top of the 5th inning in a 7-inning final game of a doubleheader in a series, a 3-game weekend series between number 9 Newberry and Carson-Newman, a team that is trying to get back to 500, facing one of the best teams in the country in Newberry, who is 25-4. atop the South Atlantic Conference standings at 10-1 as well. Starting pitcher Tyler Chinpire back out. He'll face Ben Wilcoxon, who flies one out to left field, swinging at the first pitch. And it's caught by the left fielder, Cade Fairclough. 1 pitch, 1 out for Chinpire to begin the 5th. Line is complete for Tyler Shaver after that quick effort from right to wrap up the 4th. Shaver goes 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. No walks and 4 strikeouts, facing 14 Newberry hitters. And now Will Gibbs takes an outside fastball for a strike. He's 1 for 1. 1 for 9 series, I should say, now for Gibbs this weekend after his base knock against Chinpire earlier in this game. Now takes fastball high, 0-1-1. 14 hits for Carson-Newman in the last 18 innings of baseball. 0 runs to show for. Curveball breaks on the inside corner and just missed for ball 2. 18-inning scoring drought for Tom Griffin's team. It can only get to 21 here today. Bouncing ball over Chinpire's head into center field, base hit for Gibbs. 2-hit effort for Will Gibbs. It's Carson-Newman's 5th hit of game 2, and they put a guy aboard with 1 out in the 5th. Gibbs puts together his 8th multi-hit performance this year in his 7th 2-hit effort. And now Aiden Gibson with the Eagles trailing by 3. Again, not an insurmountable deficit, but the way Carson-Newman's offense has just played, it feels like it is. Gibson grounds one down the line. It's a fair ball into foul ground in left field. Gibson's getting to second. Gibbs gets to third, and here we are again. Second and third with 1 out after the double by Aiden Gibson. This is the exact same scenario in the 4th. An inning ago, Carson-Newman started the inning with a strikeout from Denton. Balance singled up the middle like Gibbs did just a little bit ago. Smith doubled down the left field line. That's exactly what Gibson did. But then Bose hit into that double play out and right on a fly ball. They gunned down Denton at the plate, or Ballin at the plate, I should say. But things change here as Miller's hit by a pitch, and that loads the bases. Well, here we are again. The bases once again loaded for Carson-Newman. Can they end this scoring drought? They've had the bases loaded way too many times for me to mention in one at-bat. McLean at the plate, he's 0 for 1 today. He's got 3 hits this weekend. Here's the first pitch from Chinpire, a breaking ball low for ball 1. Again, you don't need a gapper. You don't need a gap shot from McLean. You need a run. Get the offense started. It looks like Tom Griffin is going to pull McLean aside. He's going to tell his runners to come join him. And we're going to have a 5-man conversation here in foul ground. The 3 base runners, the hitter McLean, all listening to their head man Tom Griffin break down what maybe he wants to happen here with the bases loaded and 1 out. Coach Griffin, year 18, 26th year overall, facing off against this Newberry team for the 54th and 55th career times. And hoping that his team can leave with a victory here this afternoon. 1 ball and no strikes on Dalton McLean. And now the righty Chinpire's pitches an inside fastball. It nearly got McLean, who, if he doesn't budge away from that and move his shoulders, he's at first base, and Carson-Newman ends the scoring drought. 2-0. Righty comes set in the offering. Fastball low, ball 3. The Eagles are a ball away from a run. And you figure Dalton McLean is taking on everything, on anything. No matter what happens here, this is ball 4, strike 1. He's taken. Here's the right-hander's pitch. Called strike 1. McLean dropped the bat, thought it was low for ball 4. two arms loosening, a lefty and a righty for Newberry, if they decide to make the move at some point. Chinpire back to work, working from the stretch. Comes set, and the 3-1. Bounces away, ball 4. The scoring drought is over. An RBI walk for Dalton McLean breaks the scoring drought of 18 and a third innings. And it's 3-1. And Newberry's making a change. The scoring drought ends. The Eagles are back on the board. It's 3-1. They run Tyler Chinpire out of the game here in the 5th. And we'll face a new pitcher. We'll tell you who the new pitcher is after this on the Eagles Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with her $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Scoring drought over. New pitcher into the game is Bryce Peterson. A left-handed arm presents a low earned run average for this Newberry team. An ERA that is below 2. It's a 1.24 earned run average for the left-hander from Coon Rapids, Minnesota. The redshirt senior is going to come into the game. He's pitched 5 2/3 this year. He's kind of been used as a matchup nightmare in a way. They'll bring him in for a lefty-lefty matchup and then maybe turn it over to another guy. His last 3 appearances, he's recorded just 1 out. And so maybe that is what he is in there to do, because he's going to face left-handed hitting James Denton. So this is a lefty-lefty matchup, you figure, and then they'll turn back to maybe a different guy to face Ballin if he would come to the plate here in this 5th inning. So Bryce Peterson, the 6-foot left-hander out of Coon Rapids, Minnesota, gets the baseball in a 2-run game with the bases full of Eagles and 1 out in the 5th. Denton 0 for 2 at the plate. He did hit a pair of singles against left-handed starter Ethan LeBron earlier today. He's got 7 hits and 20 tries against lefties. Those 7 hits are second on the team against left-handed pitching. He gets an opportunity to face Peterson here with the bases loaded and takes on the outside for a strike. Denton has a conversation with the home plate umpire, asking exactly whether that one was maybe low but on the corner, or exactly that turned out to be a strike. Now the 0-1, the same spot, maybe a little bit lower. Ball 1. 1-1. Denton pretty good with guys on base. He's 1 for 4 with the bases juiced, and he taps one foul at the plate for strike 2. Denton has driven in 16 runs this season. Can he add that to that total here? With Gibson at third, Will Coxon, or Miller, I should say, at second, and McLean at first. The pitch is lined softly over the head of Marine, base hit into left field. 1 run is in. Miller rounding third. He will score. We are tied at 3. James Denton delivers a single to left. He got fisted on an inside fastball, did enough to poke it into left field for a base hit. Not an ideal hit, but he goes oppo for a single to left to tie the game. Big time hitting from the first baseman. And now Mitch Ballant with 2 on and still just 1 out in the inning. The Eagles end the drought and are adding on 3-3, and Ballant fouls one back to the screen, strike 1. The go-ahead run is represented by Dalton McClain. He stands at second. Eagles have now compiled 7 hits in the game. They've out-hit the Wolves 7-5. Lefty comes set in the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on Ballant. Nice slider, breaking slider into the right-hander, hitting Ballant for strike 2. No change either. There is a right-hander loosening, but Wolves elect to keep Bryce Peterson out there to face Ballant. Here's the 0-2. McClain takes off. This pitch is bounced into the dirt. Runner takes off for second, 2, and Denton safe. Well, that works out. Tom Griffin sends his runners on an 0-2 breaking ball, and it pays off because that pitch was in the dirt, and so it kind of slowed up the rhythm of Velez and how he was going to field and catch that baseball and then try to throw a runner out. He didn't have a play at McClain at third. Instead, he went second and didn't get Denton either. Now 2 in scoring position for Ballant, who half swings at a breaking ball for strike 3, 2 outs. And that was a half protective, half I don't really want to swing at this pitch, or at bat and effort from Ballant. And he comes up empty. And now the second out of the inning, Nelson Smith to the plate. Eagles have erupted for 3. Can they play add-on and take the lead? Smith swings and misses at a breaking pitch from Peterson for strike 1. 3-3 game in the 5th. Lefty works from the stretch in the middle part of the rubber. And the 0-1 to Nelson is a fastball on the inside, strike 2. 0-2. The 0-2 tipped at the plate, and it pops out of the mid of Velez. It would have been strike 3, swinging foul tip into the glove of Velez. Instead, he couldn't hold on. And staying alive is Nelson Smith. Here's another 0-2. Breaking pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Smith goes down swinging, but Carson-Newman breaks the scoring drought. They are up for 3 on the James Denton 2-run single to left. We're tied heading to the bottom of the 5th here on the Eagles Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
We head to the bottom half of the 5th, and Carson-Newman and Newberry locked up at 3 runs apiece. How do the Wolves respond? Getting punched back finally by Carson-Newman's offense. It'll be Jamar Lugo to start. 9-1-2 for the Wolves to face Jake Wright, who hums in a fastball belt high for strike 1 to Lugo. 0 for 1. He struck out against starter Tyler Shaver back in the 2nd. Next pitch from Wright, another fastball. This one's away and low, and it's ball 2. Jake coming in and going to try to go multiple innings. The only time he's gone multiple innings on the road this year. Here's a pop fly out to left. Nelson Smith ranges over, and the gap in left center makes the catch, 1 out. He's gone multiple innings, or more than 1 inning now, twice on the road. He did it against Cal U back on February 26th. He recorded 4 outs, 4 scoreless outs in that effort, and then his next outing was 8 days later in that 15-inning game against Mars Hill, in which he went 3 2/3 and struck out 8 guys. Those are the only 2 times he's gone multiple innings this year, and Tom Griffin's rolling the dice with his veteran right-hander, and so far he's done very well. 4 up, 4 down. Trying to continue that here against one of the best in the SAC, and Donovan Ford, who's homered here this afternoon. His breaking pitch that he sees from right go high for ball 1. 1-1 on Ford, who's now got a 19-game hit streak. He's recorded 15 multi-hit efforts now during this stretch as well. And he takes a big swing on a miss at that fastball, strike 2. You know what, Jake Wright is fearless out there on the mound. He rears back and fires those fastballs in. And he shakes off a sign from Ballant. Now comes set the 1-2 pitch. Another fastball that Ford is late catching up to. It's hit in foul ground, Denton over to the fence, and it drops just shy of the fence for foul ball. For a foul ball, it stays 1-2. Nearly the same spot where Henry Gibson made a catch in foul ground earlier in this game, or earlier in the day. And it stays 1-2. Right-hander likes the sign Ballant gives him, comes set. A leg kick and the 1-2 fastball is outside, ball 2. 2-2. Ford will be followed by Jacob LeBron and Braylon Moraine if he gets an opportunity. Right comes set. The 2-2 slider runs away, 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. Right trying to get a hold of Ford here, who pops one up foul and out of play. That was a fastball that Ford was well aware was coming his way, and he was way out in front of it and fouled it off to the left side and out of play. It stays 3-2. Another 3-2 offering as Wright comes set, and the pitch to the plate is called strike 3. Ford was halfway up the line. The bat had already gone toward the dugout, and he'll have to walk to the dugout because he's rung up on strikes. Second K for Jake Wright, 2 outs in the 5th. Good work from the right-hander. A nice location on the outside corner for his second punch out. And now we'll face Jacob LeBron, who goes high, or takes high on a right fastball for ball 1. Oh, this shutdown inning would be huge. The offense for Carson-Newman has certainly figured something out. If they get a shutdown inning, they can take the lead in the 6th. Here's an outside corner strike to LeBron, who has a chat with the umpire. 1-1. I've seen multiple guys for both teams do that in this game. Just ask, where is that? Why is that a strike? Question maybe to the umpire. Here's a 1-1 inside fastball that LeBron hits foul, and it ends up out of play, 1-2. Wright a strike away from a shutdown inning in his second consecutive scoreless frame in relief. And get the Eagles back to the dugout, tied at 3. A 1-2 set, and the leg kick and the pitch to the plate is outside, ball 2. 22 pitches for Wright to get the first 5 outs. His pitch 23, the final out of the 5th. Jake comes set, the 2-2. is lined to center, left center field. McLean ranging over. It's off his mitt, and it drops in. Base hit. Rounding first is LeBron, and he gets to second base safely. Tough play on a ball that was ranging away from McLean. I think Smith probably had the better chance at it, but McLean had used so much energy and speed to get over there. All his momentum took him to the baseball, and he just came up short as it went off his mitt and dropped in for a base hit. Sixth hit for Newberry. Second for LeBron in Game 2. He's had back-to-back multi-hit efforts now. He's got 6 hits this weekend, and Braylon Marine to the plate with 2 outs. The reigning Conference Player of the Year is 0 for 2 in this game, and takes slider on the outer third for strike 1. Well, what makes Jake Wright so effective is that fastball. They can run quickly up against hitters and get by him quickly, but also a slider that can break in the zone, and it really changes up the speeds. He goes fastball here. Marine pops it up right side. Gibbs calling off Denton near the line at first, makes the catch, inning over. A 2-out double from Jacob LeBron. He's stranded there, and Jake Wright has thrown 2 scoreless innings out of the pen. We head to the 6th inning. We're tied at 3 in the series finale between Carson-Newman and Newberry. Stay with us on the Eagle Sports Network as Carson-Newman tries to salvage one in this 3-game series with number 9 Newberry. They'll have 2 more chances at the bat rack to try to grab the lead. Back for more after this on the Eagle Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Top of the 6th inning, Carson-Newman has responded and has scored 3 unanswered runs, a 3-run 5th to break an 18-inning scoring drought to tie the game as we head to the final 2 frames. If you're just joining us, it's the 2nd game of a doubleheader, so we'll play 7 here in Game 2. Eagles fell in the first game of the doubleheader 4-0, I should say, and fell in the series opener 8-2 yesterday. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Zach Bowes, Ben Wilcoxon, and Will Gibbs due up for Tom Griffin's team as the Eagles try to take the lead in the 6th inning. They'll have to do it against new pitcher Kenny Miller. A right-hander has pitched 13 2/3 innings this season. He's got a 4.10 earned run average, 10 strikeouts this season for the junior right-hander from North Augusta, South Carolina. He's made 8 appearances, 2 starts, 12 strikeouts to just 4 walks. Teams have hit .320 off of them. And he'll make appearance number 9 this year. He's coming off a 2-inning effort against USC Aiken 10 days ago. He gave up a run in the 2 innings pitched. First pitch was fouled off. Now the 0-1's one-hopper into the third baseman, Friesmith, who launches it over to first for the first out of the inning. A couple of changes, or at least one here defensively. Yep, just one. Rhett Jolly is in behind the plate. He replaces Jonathan Velez, who is now done for the day. So Rhett Jolly, the main starting catcher, into the lineup in the 5 spot. He'll be due up second in the inning, in the bottom half of this inning, and is now behind the plate to catch for Kenny Miller here in the 6th, who starts Ben Wilcoxon with a called strike at the knees. 0-1 wind, and the pitch to Wilcoxon is a slider that ends up on the lower part of the zone, strike 2. 0-2. 0-2. Breaking pitch low. That sends Wilcoxon to a knee. He offered at it, but he held back for ball one, and Rhett Jolly was tagging him because the appeal he thought was strike three, and Wilcoxon just kept sliding out of the way. He's like, nope, don't touch me. That was ball one. I held back. They step back in, go back to work. Here's the 1-2 to Wilcoxon. He grounds it past the third baseman in the left field. Base hit for Ben Wilcoxon, a single through the left side. With one out, gets things started for Carson-Newman in the top of the sixth inning. Ben Wilcoxon's second hit in 4 tries this weekend. And now Will Gibbs. Someone's phone's ringing right below us. One out, top of the sixth inning for Will Gibbs, who is 2 for 2 today. Bottom of the order finally coming alive for Carson-Newman. They were 0 in the first 2 games of the series. But Gibbs, Wilcoxon, and Gibson, part of this 6 through 9 part of the order here in the series finale, are a combined 4 for 9. First pitch a strike to Gibbs, who steps back in and waits for an 0-1 offering. He shows bunt, pulls it back, takes called strike 2. 0-2. Can the Eagles salvage one in the series? That is the goal. Down the stretch, trying to get one in this series. The 0-2 set in the pitch for Miller is grounded to short. Marine has to charge in, his only place to first. And he throws out Gibbs. It's pretty much shots down as a sacrifice. Even though it's not a true typical sacrifice, it does get the runner to scoring position. Wilcoxon to second for Aiden Gibson now. Now the runner at second, Gibson steps in, a .235 hitter. Got his first hit of the weekend on the double down the line. Last half inning, and he takes outside ball one. Kenny Miller, the third arm for Newberry here in game number 2. Going to put up a 0 for the Wolves. Right-hander comes set. Redshirt senior delivers. He gets Gibson to check his swing at a 1-0 breaking ball, strike 1. He went around. Top of the order, and Trey Miller waits on deck, hoping to get maybe a chance to take the lead or add on to the lead in the sixth, I should say. Breaking pitch again in there, strike 2. 1-2. 2 outs, top of the sixth inning, in a 3-3 game here at Smith Road Complex. Andrew Rogers, glad to have you alongside here at Newberry, South Carolina, to wrap up this series between number 9 Newberry and Carson-Newman. Gibson touches home plate with his bat, steps back in and waits for a 1-2 pitch. As Miller comes set, a deep breath, and the right-hander's pitch is fouled back. It stays 1-2. Eight hits for Carson-Newman in this game. 3 runs to show for it. Can they get a 9th hit and a 4th run here? The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Foul tip into the mitt. Strike 3. Swinging. Miller's first strikeout, and that ends the 6th. The Eagles get a base hit. They leave Guy aboard in scoring position. They need another 0. Jake Wright back to the mound in a 3-3 game as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning here on the Eagles Sports Network.
Protect your home from unwanted electrical surges like lightning. AEC can install a surge protection device at your electric meter. The device works by diverting excess voltage either back into the system or to the ground. AEC also offers power strips for use inside your home to protect electronics and other items. The cost of this protective service from AEC is $9.95 per month. Ordering today affords you no connection fee. AEC. We're power with purpose.
Dorm food got you down? Need a home-cooked meal? Then Lisa's Country Kitchen is for you. Lisa's Country Kitchen has been feeding Carson-Newman students for 15 years. Lisa's has a family-friendly atmosphere all day long. From the morning with her $2.99 breakfast specials to dinner with Lisa's fresh, never-frozen steaks. Carson-Newman students get a 10% discount with their student ID.
Lisa's Country Kitchen on Route 92 off Old Andrew Johnson Highway. The best food for the best prices.
Jake Wright back to the mound in a 3-3 game. He'll face 4, 5, and 6. Gibson, Jolly, Faircloth. Middle of the order for Newberry in the 6th inning to face Jake Wright. First pitch swinging. This is a line drive into left field, base hit for Gibson, who rounds first with a head of steam. Puts on the brakes and has to hustle back to the bag at first. But he's got a leadoff single to left. And now Rhett Jolly. 7th hit for Newberry here in game 2. Jake Wright back out there trying to do something he's only done 6 times in his career in 38 appearances. Pitched 3 complete innings. He did it once earlier this year, that 3-2 third outing against Mars Hill. Jolly shows bunt, pulls it back, takes strike 1. See if they stick with the plan to have Jolly bunt and trying to get this go-ahead run into scoring position. He's already showing bunt, and here's the pitch from Wright. It's well outside, ball 1. Would then be up to Faircloth, and then the 7-hitter Jesse Free trying to drive in Gibson, and then maybe the 8-hitter Gentry if he gets an opportunity. They sacrifice the bat of Jolly here to get the runner in scoring position as Wright steps up, throws it first. Pitch count relatively low for Jake Wright as well. 28 pitches so far. Pitch 29 about to be on the way as Jolly shows bunt. And it's a high bunt in foul ground. Nobody can get to it. It's strike 2. So relatively low pitch count for Wright as he pitches into his 3rd inning of work in relief. 2 strikes on Jolly. We'll see if he decides to square around one more time or if he swings away. Wright's 1-2 set in the pitch home is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Jolly behind on a fastball. 3rd strikeout for Jake Wright. And there's 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. And now Cade Faircloth. Big strikeout for Jake Wright, who continues to add to his career total. That is now 103 for the junior. Carson-Newman trying to snap a 3-game losing skid and salvage 1 in his 3-game series with Newberry. They need 2 more outs here in the 6th, and then a run in the 7th, and another scoreless frame to do that. Brady Wright comes set in the first pitch to Faircloth as a fastball low, blocked at the plate by Ballant for ball 1. That is also important here. Again, there's a lot of room in foul ground back beyond home plate to the backstop. Ball gets away. The runner is easily getting to second base. So you got to keep the ball in front of you if you're Mitch Ballant behind the dish. You don't want any free bases given up here down the stretch. And letting that be the reason Newberry takes the lead because of a base hit and a guy getting into scoring position because of whether it be an error or a wild pitch or passed ball. Here's a pickoff attempt, right? Throws over, but Gibson back safely. Every little minor play really turns into a major play down the stretch. Everything is meaningful. Hit and run on, swing and a miss, the throw down. Well in time to get Gibson. Out number 2. And now we've got an appeal from the dugout here from Russ Triplett. And the batter interfered, I think, with the throw down. Carson-Newman's infielder was starting to sprint in. Everybody's kind of got a halt here, and now the umpire clarifies things up. It's just Gibson out anyway. The batter stays in there, Faircloth. They say he didn't truly get out of the way for Ballant to make the throw, which was still an absolute strike to second. So now 1-2 on Faircloth with the bases wiped and 2 outs in the inning. Big time play by Ballant. Here's the 1-2 set of the pitch from right. Bounces in, 2-2 count. The Eagles thought Faircloth was called out at the plate. It was just the umpire letting everybody know that even if Gibson would have been safe at second, he was going to be out because of batter's interference on Faircloth. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Jake Wright. Have yourself a day. 3 scoreless relief innings for him. He's got 4 Ks. And we stay tied at 3. We'll head to the 7th. The Eagles need 1 run to take the lead. 1 run and 3 outs to salvage a game in this series. Find out if they can do it after this on the Eagles Sports Network.
We love to cheer for our home teams, like the Eagles. It means more when we're rooting for the people we know. Did you know Tri-Lite is your home team internet provider? We're right here in Jefferson City, serving the people we know with our ultra-fast, ultra-reliable fiber broadband network. And we'd love to serve you. Learn more at trilite.net or by calling 833-847-0824. Go Eagles!
Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles. Call 423-585-4000 for the Carson-Newman rate. Quality Suites of Morristown, the preferred hotel choice of the Eagles.
Top of the order for Carson-Newman heading to the top of the 7th inning. Jake Wright has given Carson-Newman a chance here down the stretch to take hold and grab their first lead of the day. Miller takes breaking ball low and away, ball 1. Trey is 1 for 2 at the plate here in Game 3 of the series. Next pitch for Miller, high ball 2. He's got a hit in each game this series, so now a 3-game hitting streak for Trey. 3 hits in 12 tries at the dish. Righty Kenny Miller goes back to work, and the 2-0 pitch is a check swing that Miller went around on strike 1. Eagles do have some action in the bullpen. Hunter Harrington loosening for the Eagles. He's just began stretching and just threw a warm-up pitch as Miller skies one in foul ground left side. This is a get out of play. And bang off the batting cages that are located just beyond the third base dugout. Attached to the fence line where Carson-Newman is throwing and where their bullpen is. Strike 2 on Miller. 2 balls and 2 strikes to begin the 7th. The breaking pitch is low and inside, ball 3. Eagles also have another right-hander beginning to throw. Looks like Brock Culpepper. 3-2, outside fastball, ball 4. Miller had to wait a second. It was such a close pitch that he probably should have fought it off and tried to foul it off and get a piece of it. Instead, he held back and takes ball 4. He draws the walk to start the 7th. His 12th walk of the year. And now Dalton McClain. Miller comes set from the stretch. McClain shows bunt, and he fouled it back, did McClain. Strike 1. Figured the sacrifice opportunity will stay on for McClain here and then give James Denton a chance to take the lead for Carson-Newman. With the speed of Miller, him without a dive. 0-1 is the count. Righty comes set, and the pitch to the plate. McLean pumps it, bunts it, back to the screen, high, foul ball, strike 2. So McLean fails to get 2 pitches down for bunt attempts, and now may swing away with 2 strikes on him. Here's the 0-2 set from Kenny Miller in the pitch. High, ball 1. So Brock Culpepper and Hunter Harrington loosen. Harrington came on through 8 pitches, 7 were balls in game 1 today. So he's fresh, but did struggle earlier today. Quick pickoff attempt by Kenny Miller, back safely as Miller. This time he had to dive back. Then you have Brock Culpepper, a guy in his first year at the program from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, that's appeared in 7 games. A couple of choices for Tom Griffin if he elects to go to the pen and keep Jake Wright in the game. McLean takes high fastball, ball 2, back-to-back misses high for the right-handed pitcher Kenny Miller. As McLean extends this 7th inning AB, the 2-2 set, and the pitch home is not going to come from Miller. He picks over to first again. Back safely as Miller. Trey Miller, that is. Miller back again safely. The Eagles have been picked off twice. Miller is one of the guys that has been picked off today over there at first base. And so certainly Newberry, aware that he's been picked off, but also that they've got some pretty good pickoff moves and that they could catch one of their guys leaning. McLean rips one to left. Will it stay fair? Just foul. McLean ropes one down the line and left, but it just goes foul. It was hooking enough and just veered foul of the left field pole. It stays 2-2. He clobbered that baseball. A no-doubter. Just ventures foul. And now another 0-2 pitch. A ground ball left side. Marine in the whole field throws to second. It gets away from the second baseman and ends up in right field. The runners will move up one spot, and with second and third, there's no one out for James Denton. A tough play in the hole for Marine. And the ball got away from the second baseman, Lugo, and ends up in right field. And the Eagles have a guy 90 feet away for the go-ahead run. And James Denton at the plate. Error number 1 for Newberry defensively here in the final game of the series. And wisely, Newberry will put James Denton aboard. Now it will set up a force out everywhere. And Denton, who has 5 hits this weekend, well, I should say in today's game, this weekend, he's 2 for 10. Infield in. All 4 infielders in on the grass. As Miller comes home with the first pitch to Mitch for a strike. Carson-Newman has been in a situation like this before. Not in a 3-3 game in the final inning with no one out. But they've had the bases loaded, nobody out, and have come up empty. Can they change the script of the weekend here? The pitch to balance, swing and a miss on a slider, strike 2. I'm referring to the bases loaded, no out situation in a 2-1 game in the opener, in which the Eagles came up empty. They can't afford to come up empty here. The 0-2 set for Kenny Miller in the pitch home is grounded up the middle, base hit, Eagles have the lead. One run is in. The second one is rounding third. And avoiding the tag is Dalton McLean. He scores. It's 5-3. The runners move to second and third. Carson-Newman strikes twice. And it's 5-3. Mitch Ballant delivers. If the infield's not playing in, it's a double play ball. But in a tie game, they had to be in on the grass. And Ballant sneaks it through the infield for the RBI single. 2 RBI single. How about the play from McLean? He had to avoid the play at the plate. A great throw from the center fielder, Donovan Ford. And he had to avoid, did McLean, the Rhett Jolly tag. And McLean sort of jumped toward the field of play and then dived around the tag to get the backside, the first base side of home plate. Incredible. That's a crucial second run scored, and the inning continues for Nelson Smith. Infield stays in for Newberry. Here's Kenny's pitch, and Smith fouls it down the line and left, foul, 0-1. Kenny Miller gives up 2 runs. 1 is earned. The error causes the other one to be unearned. So we approach the 6 o'clock hour. Carson-Newman has the 5-3 lead. 5 unanswered for Tom Griffin's crew, and they want to play add-on. And getting hit in the back is Kenny Miller. A fastball runs inside, and the bases are loaded again. And Newberry's got a guy out of the dugout. Slowly walking to the mound. That's Russ Triplett. He's going to make a move. Well, Kenny Miller loads the bases. He hits another batter. And Carson-Newman has taken the lead in the 7th. It's 5-3, and they'll face a new relief pitcher ahead by 2 and trying to add some insurance heading to the 7th inning. Back for more here from Smith Road Complex after this on the Eagles Sports Network.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
The only way this will be a relieving win for Tom Griffin and his Carson-Newman Eagles is if CN can find a way to salvage one game in this series. And what was, for a very long time, a frustrating weekend for Carson-Newman at the plate. They had manufactured a ton of hits, but we're on a stretch of 18 consecutive innings without a run across against Newberry pitching. Carson-Newman has changed the script, has scored 3 in the 5th to tie it, and has added 2 more on the 2-run single from Mitch Ballant to make it 5-3, and they can add insurance against Trevor Linneman, the new pitcher for Newberry here in the 7th. He's got a 6.46 ERA in 8 2/3 innings pitched. 3 hits allowed, 10 strikeouts. They will face Zach Bose. And the infield still in for Newberry. Right-hander comes set. The first pitch home is a strike to Bose. 0-1. Right-hander likes the sign he gets from Jolly, and now the 0-1 offering, a swing and a miss at a breaking pitch outside, strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eagles with the 2-run lead. 9 hits and 5 runs. And they want more in the inning. Breaking pitch, low and away, ball 1. One and 2 on Bose, who is 0 for 3 today. A .245 hitter now with 17 RBI this year. Can he add to that total? Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 1 out. And now Ben Wilcoxon. As Bose has a couple of words for the outfielder who steps to the plate to face Linneman. But it will be a relieving effort if Carson-Newman can hold on and get 3 outs in the 7th inning. And they get 1 game of a series that probably they'll think they should have got 2 at least, or at least put up a better fight than it did in the first 2 games of the series. First pitch strike to Wilcoxon. Because the offense got hits, they got guys on base, they had opportunities, but fell short. And the first 2 games of the series, they've not fallen short here in game 3 of the series. Wilcoxon, safety squeeze, down the line. The run scores. Nobody's covering first. 6-3. Ben Wilcoxon delivers a safety squeeze. The runner was taking off on the pitch. Denton scores at 6-3. Newberry executed a safety squeeze to perfection yesterday. And Tom Griffin calls it up here in the 7th inning. And his team adds on. Now it's a 3-run lead. Wilcoxon delivers a perfect bunt down the line. And now Will Gibbs. Gibbs takes high on the fastball for ball 1. Nobody was covering the bag because really I don't think Newberry expected bunt there. And you had Gibson, the first baseman, charging on the bunt. And it went down the third base line, so he was in a pickle. He couldn't get back to the bag in time, and the second baseman wasn't expecting to have to cover the bag. And they were both late getting there, so Wilcoxon was easily able to get to the bag before they did to reach on Carson-Newman's 10th hit of the afternoon. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gibbs. Sam Stern has come into the game. He's running over at third base now. He's in the game for Ballin. Fastball out or third for a strike from Linneman. 1-2 now on Gibbs with 1 out. Right, he sets the pitch, is floated out to right in foul ground. Jordan over, and he missed it on a diving catch. That would have scored a run if he makes the catch in foul ground with a Stern tagging. So it's not the worst thing in the world that he dropped it. But if you're Newberry, you would have liked to have that second out. Instead, Will Gibbs has second life in his 4th AB of the afternoon. The right-hander Linneman comes set. The pitch is fouled back by Gibbs again. It stays 1-2. Right-hander comes set once again. A long pause, and now a 1-2 fastball inside, 2-2. The Eagles are going to have their streak to start sack play of 3 straight wins, series wins, end at 3 games here this weekend. But they can at least get 1 if they hold on here. Gibbs pop up just beyond the infield. Marine makes the catch, infield fly rule in effect, 2 outs. And that'll bring the 9-hitter Aiden Gibson back to the plate. And the Eagles with just 8 wins against nationally ranked teams on the road. They can get win number 9 under Tom Griffin against a ranked foe on the road if they can get 3 outs. But they want to add on here in the 7th with the bases still loaded but 2 outs. Right-handers 1-0 offering to Gibson's. A swing and a miss at a slider for strike 1. Linneman steps off and will adjust his belt prior to a 1-1 pitch. Now he's ready, and Gibson steps back in to greet him. A Stern at third for the Eagles. Bases are loaded. Pitch is low. 2-1. Nelson Smith at second. And Ben Wilcoxon at first. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch home to Gibson is grounded left side. Marine Charges will flip to Lugo at second, inning over. A 3-run 7th for Carson-Newman's Eagles. They're 3 outs away from a ranked victory.
At lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Insurance, it's about people, not things. It's about security. It's about confidence. It's about relationships. It's about trust. It's about you. As a local independent agent, Bible Insurance Agency can design an insurance program that's just right for you and your family. Give the people you love safe, sound, secure protection from Auto Owners Insurance. Call Bible Insurance Agency, 423-586-4320, or go by 1600 East Andrew Johnson Highway in Morristown.
Well, here we go. 7, 8, 9 due up for Newberry in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Jake Wright out of the pen, back to the mound for a 4th inning of work. Can he get 3 outs and Carson-Newman a ranked victory? Jesse Free starts and takes strike 1. Well, Coxon and Gibbs each with multi-hit efforts for the Eagles at the plate, but the story down the stretch has been Jake Wright's fastball that blows by Jesse Free, swinging strike 2. Wright continues to be phenomenal. 16 strikeouts now this year, 4 in the game. He comes set in the 0-2 fastball, runs away, ball 1. He has kept Carson-Newman in the game. Shaver went 3 innings, gave up 3 runs. The Eagles, after 3, were down 3-0. And Jake Wright has put together 3 consecutive scoreless innings to keep the Eagles within that deficit as he misses low, 2-2. And the offense eventually got going with 3 in the 5th and 3 in the 7th to take the lead. Can they hold it, though? 2-2 set for Wright, and the pitch home to Jesse Free is a high fastball, 3-2. Well, Newberry's got 7, 8, 9. And their best hope is that they don't go down 1-2-3 and they can get Donovan Ford in the top of the order an opportunity to help extend this 7th. The righty Wright comes set, and the pitch home is fouled back. Certainly this Newberry offense that ranks top 10 in a lot of different categories in the country and first in the SAC in a lot of different categories is not going to let this Carson-Newman pitching staff go down with ease. Here's a pop fly and foul ground. It gets out of play. Spencer Bright into the game to catch for Carson-Newman, replacing Mitch Ballin, who came out of the game after Sam Stern entered to run. These Newberry bats aren't going to let Carson-Newman get away with this win very easily. The Eagles are going to have to work hard for the final 3 outs. Here's another 3-2 home, another foul back by Free. Good crowd on hand. Both Newberry and Carson-Newman fans in action, or here to watch the action. And Carson-Newman's fans hoping they can leave with at least one victory. Called strike 3, a fastball at the knees. Jesse Free watches it go by, called strike 3. Jake Wright, punch out number 5, 1 out. A little shoulder strut as Jake Wright walks around the mound. He's got good reason to. A 9-pitch punch out of Jesse Free. 2 outs away from victory. Righty back to work from the stretch and goes to a slider outside to Cooper Gentry for ball 1. Fastball high, 2-0. The Eagles can get a game back in the standings. They fell back to 4th after Game 1's actions in the South Atlantic Conference today with the loss. They can try to grab a game back and hope LR loses as Wright falls behind 3-0. LR, though, takes down Mars Hill in the second game 6-2. So a pair of victories, a sweep for LR over Mars Hill has the Bears in sole possession of 3rd. So the Eagles can't jump anywhere in the standings, but they can hold and maintain 4th with a victory. And improve to 8-4. 3-0 is a strike, now the 3-1 on the corner. Fastball 3-2. Hunter Harrington continues to loosen. But will he even be needed? Here's the 3-2 from Wright. Called strike 3. Another 3-2 called strike 3 looking. Gentry tossed his bat to the dugout. Thought it was ball 4. And with 2 outs, Newberry will send a pinch hitter to the plate. It'll be Brody Winter. Frustration looming for Newberry. Back-to-back strikeouts looking right with 6 of them. And he's not away to get Carson-Newman a win. A ranked win over number 9 Newberry. Five in a row sent down for Jake Wright. And he looks to end the game by sending the final 6 Newberry hitters down in order after a leadoff single to begin the 6th inning at a point maybe when Newberry fans and their team thought they were going to rally in the 6th to take the lead. Instead, Wright shut him down. Can he shut him down for good here? First pitch strike to Winter. Winter pinch hitting, made starts in the first 2 games, had 3 hits in 5 tries, I should say, this weekend. And he takes low fastball for ball 1. One ball and 1 strike. The pitch from Wright is lined into left field base hit. And Brody Winter continues the game with a line drive single to left. He's had a good weekend. I was actually surprised to see him out of the order in the final game of the series. That's his 4th hit in 7 tries. And now Donovan Ford, the top of the order. Well, Jake Wright's going to have to go up against the best of the best to close the door. He'll face Donovan Ford, who's 2 for 3. The first pitch home is a fastball at the knees, strike 1. Jake Wright trying to get his first win of the season and career win number 6. The pitch home is lifted to right. Wilcoxon in. Sliding catch for Ben. Game over. 4 shutout relief innings for Jake Wright. And Carson-Newman rallies to take 1 in a 3-game series with Newberry. 6 unanswered runs. And the final 3 innings propels Carson-Newman to a ranked victory, their 32nd win over a ranked team under Tom Griffin. And they get it done this evening in Newberry, South Carolina. Final score 6-3. Jake Wright gets the win, his first of the year, by throwing 4 scoreless frames and striking out 6 Newberry hitters. Ben Wilcoxon and Will Gibbs each provide 2 hits along with Mitch Ballant. Ballant and Denton drive in a pair of runs. And Carson-Newman splits the doubleheader on this Saturday and salvages 1 game in this 3-game series with the Newberry Wolves. Andrew Rogers signing off here on the Eagles Sports Network from Smith Road Complex, where Carson-Newman gets one of the 3 games with the Newberry Wolves this weekend. The Eagles return home on Tuesday at 3 p.m. first pitch from the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex back in Jefferson City, Tennessee. We'll talk to you Tuesday. The Eagles get back to 500. They're 15-15 overall and 8-4 in league play. We'll talk to you Tuesday from Mossy Creek. Andrew Rogers signing off and hoping you have a great rest of your weekend here on the Eagles Sports Network.